What is going on, everybody? Welcome back. MTG here with another episode. If you're new to the channel, hi there. So I've got the old base 15-inch M3 MacBook Air. And the reason why I say old is because now if you go to pick up a 15-inch MacBook Air, the base model comes with 16 gigs of unified memory at the base. Like, there's no more 8 gigs of unified memory, it's 16 gigs. And that's huge thanks to Apple Intelligence. That plays a huge role into why the base of old Macs are now 16 gigs of unified memory. And I got this before that happened, and it happened recently. So I've been using this since its release. This is my end of year experience review, whatever you want to call it. I have 8 gigs of unified memory. I have 512 gigs of SSD, and we're going to be talking based on those criteria. Now I think it's even a better laptop to buy because of that bump in the base unified memory, or the base RAM, from 8 to 16. So that's a huge plus, and I'm excited for those who pick up an M3 or even M2 MacBook Air because it comes standard with 16 gigs of unified memory. But let's talk about the chipset itself, the M3 in the 15-inch MacBook Air, and how it's held up, for me at least, in the past year. It's been more than enough. It's tackled everything that I've thrown at it with ease, no problems, no stutters, no lags whatsoever. My workflow, my business runs on this machine. My YouTube videos, my other side projects I have going on, the back-end part of the YouTube business runs on this M3 MacBook Air, and it's done a phenomenal job. And it's just like the easy tasks to the more heavy intensive tasks. I use Safari as my browser as of right now, and using it for like Gmail, writing documents, writing my scripts on Notion, commenting on YouTube videos, using it for the YouTube analytics, using Canva to edit photos and things like that. And then Final Cut Pro to edit my videos. I've had no problems. Like, I've come across no issues or no overheating, anything like that. And there is no fan in the MacBook Air. So that's something to consider. If it ever does overheat, what's gonna happen? But I've never come across a problem with overheating issues on the M3 MacBook Air. Now, even though this is the 8 gigs of unified memory, so the old model, it still tackles everything. So now I'm thinking, what if I had the 16 gig of unified memory? It probably would perform even better. Now, I still don't have the need to pick up something like an M4 Pro or an M4 Max chipset device like the M4 Pro or M4 Max MacBook Pro, because at least not right now. I don't need it until I boost like my productivity or the quality of my video, or make it more like heavy intensive related, like adding more streams of footage into Final Cut Pro, or adding 4K footage or anything like that, whatever it may be, until I get more like dive into it and my workload gets more difficult, then I'm gonna keep sticking with the MacBook Air. Maybe, hopefully in the next year or two, you may see M or MacBook Pro reviews, but until then, this is going to be my main machine. I've had no issues, no need to want to upgrade or need to upgrade to a MacBook Pro. When I edit and export videos on Final Cut Pro, again, it's like 2 to 3 streams of 1080p footage. It doesn't get warm at all either. So not having a fan hasn't been a problem for me. The chipset, I'm perfectly content with the chipset. So if anyone's out there in the market looking for an M3 MacBook Air, really can't go wrong. The size of it really does come down to you, whether you want a 13-inch or a 15-inch. I've used a 13-inch before, but that was M2, and then I've also used a 15-inch. So I've come to love the 15-inch more, just because it offers more screen when using it, especially on the go. So for me, 15-inch, and since I edit videos, I just want to have a little bit more space to see that content, for viewing the content. So 15-inch for me is the way to go, but 13-inch might be a better choice. It's a little cheaper in price too. It all comes down to preference when we're talking about the screen size of the MacBook Air. Again, my workflow throughout the past year is, I guess, basic compared to others who have YouTube channels or who have a online business. At least that's what I kind of see, like 2 to 3 streams of 1080p footage at 30 frames per second. It's not that much. I don't use too many effects or transitions. I'm using Safari for Notion. and planning, such as scripting for videos, putting my bullet points. It's like running, Notion is actually running like my back end business, like my daily to-do list, morning to-do list, weekly to-do list. It's got all my future video content ideas and things like that. Everything related to the business is found on Notion, and I use Notion every single day, multiple times throughout the day, and I've had no problems whatsoever. Obviously, I watch YouTube videos on here too, and that's pretty basic. Responding to my daily emails, that's also pretty basic at least. But what I've noticed in the past 2 to 3 months is, especially since I've been doing this full time, my workload has been getting a little bit more intense, or at least I've been putting more work onto the MacBook Air, because I'm also working on my Tesla Volt channel, which recently passed 1,000 subscribers, as well as focusing more on Dose of Pokemon, because I kind of feel like I found my niche and the type of videos, the type of content I want to publish on there, on Dose of Pokemon, which is going to be talking more about Pokemon TCG and card investing and all that stuff, investing, collecting. So that's kind of why I niched down into the world of Pokemon on Dose of Pokemon. So I've been focusing on those 2 channels as well, on top of MTG Productions, and I make it work since I've been doing this full time since September of 2024. So I'm quickly wrapping up 3 months of this, and it's been a great journey. So the workload has been a little bit more intense, but if we just focus on my MTG Productions business side of things, it's pretty basic. It's time consuming, but the workflow itself is pretty basic. It's not something that requires me to go out and pick up a MacBook Pro or anything like that. Again, it all comes down to usage, but for me, and I feel like I can relate to a college student, because I also did use the M2 13-inch MacBook Air as well as the 15-inch MacBook Air for my college career, and it just tackled everything without any problems whatsoever. Group work, Microsoft Team calls, whatever it may be, PowerPoints, Excel spreadsheets, and things like that. It performed like a champ. So if M2 performed like a champ, I'm sure that M3 would perform like a champ for college students. Now, the battery life in the past year, it's been getting a little bit worse, but it's not to the point where like I have to keep it in charge all day. I can go like 2 days without charging it, and that's with editing videos on Final Cut Pro. That's with watching YouTube videos, using Safari, emailing, and all that good stuff. And it lasts me 2 days. So I think for me, that's perfectly fine. Granted, whenever I'm out on the go, I still bring my charger with me. And obviously when I'm at home, I have my MagSafe charger. Out on the go, I use USB-C, and at home, I'm using the MagSafe charger. It's still awesome. The battery life is still awesome. And if you pick this up day one, you won't have any problems with the battery life. And I know that from experience, because one of my past like Intel MacBook Pros, it wouldn't last an hour on charge. Like it came to a point where I always had to keep it plugged in for just like the juice to stay inside the machine itself. So I've went through that, and this is a huge upgrade, and I can't be happier with it. Now, the price is a topic I like to talk about in my videos with devices, because it's a category that many consumers think about when picking up a product. And it doesn't necessarily need to be about laptops. It can be about smartphones or whatever it is. Pricing plays a huge role. Now, $12.99 is the base model. Education discount brings it down to like $11.99. And again, this is for that base model. I traded mine in back at the time, so I got a trade-in value of $820. So I got a pretty decent trade-in value. This always goes on sale, whether it's through Best Buy or Amazon. I'll be leaving links in the description down below. I wouldn't pick it up at MSRP. Don't pick it up at $12.99, because you're going to find this on sale. And I say that about a lot of products. A lot of products are going to go on sale. Don't pick it up on its MSRP price. Maybe wait a couple weeks, maybe wait a month, whatever it may be. And when you find that sale, that's when you should pick it up. Now, obviously, I wouldn't recommend anyone picking up the M3 15-inch if you have something like M2 or even the M1 MacBook Air, because it still performs like a champ. For me, the reason why I upgraded, obviously, I'm talking about the latest tech, reviewing them. So it kind of worked out for me. I did complete my college career last year, so this never got to see any college type of work, but it's been more of my business laptop. It's been running my work, my daily work throughout the days, evenings, nights. This has tackled everything I've thrown it, and I can't be happier. And I think the MacBook Air, the M3 MacBook Air, and this kind of talks about both sizes, the 13 and the 15 inch, is still a compelling and powerful MacBook to get into the Apple ecosystem, or for someone who's still in school, or someone who wants to start making content. Like if you want to start making content, I don't think you need to splurge and get the new MacBook Pro. You can still pick up a MacBook Air. However, now that we're approaching the end of the year, and if you watch this at the start of 2025, we are getting closer to the release of the upcoming and the rumored M4 MacBook Air, which I will be upgrading to, obviously, because that's what I usually do. Like I said, I review and I talk about the latest tech, so it only makes sense for me to upgrade. However, I want to tell you guys this: if I wasn't making content and I had the M3 MacBook Air, I wouldn't recommend picking up the M4 MacBook Air when it does come out. There's another question to it too. Hey, if you know the M4 MacBook Air is coming out, rumored spring of 2025, should I pick up the M3 MacBook Air? Again, it comes down to this. You know a successor is always going to come out. When that M4 comes out and you're in the market looking for a laptop, I can just tell you, hey, wait until the M5 MacBook Air comes out. That's just the cycle of products. A new product comes out, the successor is going to come out sooner or later. It's just like, are you gonna wait for that? Just pick up whatever is out on the market, because that's the best product there is on the market right now, the current one. And the best MacBook Air is the M3 MacBook Air. So again, if you wanna wait, that's up to you. But for me, I personally just recommend, hey, there's still 3 months, I'd say consider picking up the M3 MacBook Air. If we were like a week or two away, then I'd say, okay, like there's a limited amount of time. It comes down to the same thing with the iPhones. Like, don't pick up an iPhone in August when you know it's coming out in September, or don't pick it up like the week before, or some people even pick up an iPhone the day of the successor's unveiling. So if it's like a week or two before it's unveiling, or if it's like the new one's out for pre-order, whatever it is, don't pick it up. But again, ultimate choice comes down to you, the user. But I hope you guys did enjoy. Overall, I love the MacBook Air, and I would easily recommend it to anyone who asks me for a laptop suggestion. Size, that preference is for you, but just the MacBook Air M3 chipset model itself is a phenomenal laptop. Can't have any problems, issues whatsoever with it. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, definitely be sure to subscribe to the channel. If you haven't already, comment down below, and best of all, share this video, because it really does help out the channel out a lot and will help push my content out to more people. That's been it for me, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.